Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is now just 138 days away from its official release by writer and director J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, what's really exciting about Episode 9 is that we do know that this film is going to add in tons of new revelations that will lead to saga-wide implications in this story by JJ and even creator George Lucas. And by far, I think that one of the big driving forces here of the hype of Episode 9 has all to do with Palpatine's return and how Ian McDiarmid himself is portraying the character once more to end the sequel trilogy. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very exciting for Episode 9. Now, specifically shot descriptions consisting of both Rey and the Dark Acolyte, who is under control by the spirit of Sidious, where it's explained that one of the sequences is said to involve a moment in which Sidious is able to throw his lightsaber and control its movement in mid-air, trying to hit Rey where she dodges each and every strike. It's said to be a new technique that has never been seen before on a Star Wars movie, where the saber flies around in any direction toward its opponent. It's said that one of the sequences even involves a part where Rey is able to use Force Freeze against Palpatine's lightsaber and is able to deactivate it in mid-air. This is where Palpatine begins to use Force Lightning on Rey during the scene to gain the upper hand, where while he does this, he is said to give Rey a lesson about the origins of the dark side of the Force and the beyond itself. The scene is also said to be a part of one of the revelations related to the Force as well as the origins of the galaxy. Lastly, it's said that one of the sequences involves Rey breaking free from the Force Lightning, where she force pulls her lightsaber and resumes her fast-paced duel with Sidious in the middle of a rainstorm. So let's go over a couple of parts about this. Now, we do know that there is going to be quite a massive lightsaber duel at the very end of The Rise of Skywalker, between both Kylo, Rey, and Palpatine on and off. And at certain points, it's going to be 2-on-1 and 1v1. And I think what's really great about that is that it's a very interesting take by J.J. Abrams to really kind of make this saber fight be modeled after the prequel trilogy era. In the prequels, we've gotten a lot of 2-on-1 lightsaber duels, between Anakin and Obi-Wan, and of course Count Dooku, and we even had Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan going up against Darth Maul. In this scenario now, we have Rey and Kylo Ren going up against the Dark Acolyte that is controlled by the spirit of Sidious. Now, the thing here is this. We do know that there are going to be a lot of new Force powers and techniques, if you will, Force techniques, where one of which is said to be a power that Sidious is able to use to literally move his lightsaber in any direction that he pleases in mid-air, while keeping it ignited to try and hit Rey, where she keeps dodging those, strikes by Palpatine. Now, we've seen this before in Star Wars Legends and other forms of canon out there in the forms of books and comics, etc., but we've never seen this on film, and I think that it's going to be a very interesting touch by J.J. Abrams to see exactly how this is really going to be utilized on the big screen and how it's all going to be done for the audience to see come December of this year. So, like I've always said before, we do know that parts of this movie are planned to be darker than that of Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, which really does speak volumes by JJ. It tells us that he's really trying to make this film the best of the sequel trilogy, and is also really trying to prove that he can really make a Star Wars film not just filled with nostalgia, but original, techniques as well that we haven't seen in a Star Wars movie just yet. So, apart from all of that, we also have the Force Lightning sequence. Now, this is a great homage to what we got in the originals and the prequels. So far, in the sequels, we've only gotten a little strike of Force Lightning by Snoke, and that was it. Now in The Rise of Skywalker, they're going all out with Force Lightning, from Palpatine to Rey, and even Kylo Ren at certain points in time. So, the Force Lightning technique, it is returning since Palpatine is back, and I think that's a great move by Disney and Lucasfilm because a lot of fans love that Force ability, and I'm really excited to see what the updated version of the visual effects of the Force Lightning are really going to look like on the big screen, especially in IMAX. Now, there is one other thing that I do want to touch on that I've honestly found very intriguing, is that there is a moment in which it's actually said to be toward the end of this battle between both Rey and Sidious, where she's able to break free and Force pulls her lightsaber and resumes her fast-paced duel with Sidious in the middle of a rainstorm, where it's said to use a lot of prequel trilogy choreography. So that means that we're going to get a lot of backflips and front flips and Rey bouncing off of walls and crazy stuff like that in this lightsaber duel against Sidious. And I think that's a very, interesting touch by JJ, Chris, and even George Lucas and what they're trying to do to end the sequel trilogy to make it somewhat true to the originals and the prequels at the same exact time. And if you think about it, Palpatine, very important figure in the Star Wars universe. The fact that he's back now in full force really is exciting, I gotta say. I think without a doubt it really is the driving force of the hype of Episode 9, is Palpatine's return. I think that there's no denying that. So yeah, guys, I would really love to hear what you all have to say about Palpatine's return and his interactions with Rey and Kylo Ren in the third act of this movie. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to morning.